Crypto bloodbath. Sell everything. I'm just kidding. Don't sell everything. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, where we keep technical analysis short and sweet. So we're looking at Bitcoin, and we see that it is actually holding on this upward trend line and on the RSI. On the 4 hour at least, we were completely oversold. Moving into the daily, we made it underneath the 50. So we're seeing the yellow come down. If we get rejected by that yellow, we may expect a further retracement. As long as we are staying above 108, we will most likely see the other cryptos drop exponentially. However, if we do hold anywhere above this, take the dip with the rest of the crypto and buy more, and it'll start to take off when we hold support over 108, hopefully holding support on this upward trend line. Moving over to Tornado Cash, one of the healthiest looking markets. It did not hold this upward support, tested a little bit, so we may see a further drop. However, the 200 EMA on the 400 or the 4 hour is right at this black line moving upwards, and the stronger support is back here at 10. So if you did not get in anywhere underneath $11, you may have the opportunity once more. And we are currently at almost $12. QNT had a major pullback as well. We can expect QNT to potentially be pushing back up towards this 200 EMA and testing it. May reject even further. The absolute low we would want to see is around $89 before holding support. However, we may hold support off this upward trend line before pushing back up once more. This just is kind of showing you where if you did not sell within the 124 and then you got up here and you did not sell at the 130, everybody else wanted to bring the market back within a better range for them to get a better entry, and we pushed back down, this causing a bunch of liquidation. So a lot of people who wanted to sell when it got to this point sold, and people who thought it would not go up any higher, they are currently out of the market, and it is getting bought back up and pushing it back up towards 130 if it holds support off this upward trend line. Looking at BNT, major pullback out of the channel. If this is on the 4 hour, if we can push back up into this channel and hold and then push slowly above this 200 EMA, we can expect it pushing into the center area and testing this upward trend line right around 74 cents. And ultimately, we need to break this downward trend line right here, as we were similarly doing on the bearish side. But if we can push back up here and break and hold up here, it's obviously going to be a little bit more bullish. We want to see a close on the daily to get a better confirmation, as we are trying to hold above that black downward trend line currently in BNT. We're going to jump on over to Doge and GRT. Doge, major pullback below the inverse head and shoulders, which was that 21 cent area, even beyond the 618 Fibonacci into the 18 cents. Is it possible to see a further pullback to 16? Yes, that is possible. Depending on what Bitcoin's going to be doing, we may see this have a little bit of consolidation, test this area once again. If that breaks, we can expect a little bit further retracement, first around the 17 cent mark. GRT holding sideways, trying to fill out inverse head and shoulders, readjust this upward trend line, hopefully holding support somewhere within this area, off this downward trend line as well. And then we are currently a little bit oversold, so we could expect this consolidate, slowly pushing back up to this 10 cents before breaking up towards 20 cents. Moving on to XRP. XRP, major pullback, almost to the 618, around the 2.65. People are buying it up. It is not breaking that CM guppy. 200 EMA is creeping back up. RSI is right around the 50. May we see a further pullback? That is possible, as we are pushing up very quickly. If we get a bullish engulfing, we may see this have that continuation up to 3.24. Using fib just on this retracement, saying this is the full bottom. 618 is all the way up here at 3.31, which is still below that high that we were hoping to hold. And you see that once it broke below the 3.4, we had that major push down, and then pop back up and further rejection down to 276. Dollar cost average, your XRP, keep stacking it bit by bit. It will take off, along with a lot of the other bags. They're doing market manipulation. Powell's supposed to be stepping down. I don't believe that happened. I'm not really up to date on the news, but that's kind of what happened, liquidating a lot of people scared, selling off at thousands of dollars in losses right before it starts pumping up. And we see that XLM did not want to break out of this downward wedge and held support, pushing it back up, where we may see a little rejection off this 40-cent mark. If that breaks, we could see the push up to 5.2. And if that rejects, we could see it pushing back down towards this 36-cent area once again. But definitely XRP, XLM are good bets. Same with XCN. None of this is financial advice. And XCN is trying to hold above that 200 EMA. It's struggling a little bit, but we've seen that it tried to hold up above that 200 EMA right here, got a further rejection, got rejection once more, and then ultimately just destroyed the 200 EMA and took off. And right here, pushed underneath, up, below again once more before pushing up, testing as support and taking off. Similar thing, pushing below, may see a little bit of rejection right here, a push a little bit lower before ultimately taking off for XCN. So definitely stack your bags, XCN, XRP, and XLM, but not financial advice once again. XYO and Compound are the last two, and actually Toshi took off, but we'll do that on a short or something. Holding support clearly right here at this upward trend line on XYO. We mainly just need to hold anywhere within this area, and we'll see that consolidation push up, mainly getting over this 200 EMA. If you have not entered, that would be your ideal entry, waiting for that break and hold above that 200 EMA before ultimately popping up into the 1.5 cent range and then pushing back up towards this 0.25 cent and beyond for XYO. And Compound, very stable, just like Tornado, holding very well above this black trend line right here and trying to creep its way over that 200 EMA. And when that does happen, we can see a major push up for Compound. It is only $44. All-time high is above $1,000, or roughly $980. So that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want. Description has all the references below. Good luck. Have fun with it, and I'll see you on the next one.